Welcome or welcome back, beautiful souls, to the channel. I'm Chica, your conscious mentor, and today I will be going over the Gemini New Moon on May 30th, 2022 and what you need to know. In this video, I'm going to pull out some cards that are going to really help you understand what this new moon's all about and how this new moon is all about understanding the different sides of ourselves and tapping into that as a new relationship within and also around us. So I'm really excited for this video. Before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bells, share with your friends if you feel called to really allow us to tap into the moon, because it is such a powerful energy to work with. And I also do these new moon and full moon updates every single month. I do weekly videos, and I will also have a meditation for you lovely, amazing souls as well. I also want to share with you guys that this June, I know I haven't done a mystery program for a very long time. I am actually offering a mystery program, and this program will only be available up until this Friday. So I'm going to leave the link down below. You don't know what this program is. It will just say the date as well as how long it will be. It will be recorded. So if you aren't able to come live for this program in deep healing, you will still get access to it. And I would highly, highly suggest it. I'll be announcing what the program is in the next video. So excited for the mystery programs. I love doing them with you guys, and they're so powerful. In this one, a little clue for you, it's all about activating our truth. So perfect for the Gemini New Moon. And if you feel called to go deeper into your healing, don't forget to enroll in my courses, or you can apply for my one-on-one mentoring or retreats down below. Now let's get into the Gemini New Moon on May 30th, 2022. So I feel like the Gemini New Moon couldn't have come at such a beautiful, beautiful time of this year. It's always like this with every moon that we have. If there are any Geminis, let me know down below with the Gemini emoji. I love to know what you guys are in your signs and reading all about that. So the Gemini is really understanding the aspect of the two sides of us. With Geminis, it's really well known that they tend to have two worlds, right? And I'll give you an example. So we have our spiritual world where we meditate, where we do healing, and then there's our human where we like to have fun. You know, we like to have vacations and materialistic experiences. And I think that's something that was reminded to me just a few weeks ago. For those who don't know, I just got back from 10 days of deep training isolation for my Kambo initiation. So I'm so excited to offer this beautiful medicine to whoever feels called to that. I'll be offering this medicine to anyone in Canada and also at my retreats. So if you are interested in that and you would like to have a Kambo ceremony with me, you can just DM me on Instagram, Shika_Chica, and learn more about that. But let's get more into the Gemini. What I meant to bring this up is that this Gemini New Moon on May 30th is all about unexpected changes in career, interests, and passions are more noticeable. So it's understanding and knowing that it is okay to have our spiritual side and our human. And the best way of explaining it from my teacher at the time is we were saying that it's important to let our human and also to love our shadow more. So for example, back in the day before doing all this healing, holding space for you guys, I went out a lot, you know, and I used it as a way of void, you know, as a way of blocking my emotions, which Geminis can tend to do. So in this Gemini New Moon, it's having a new relationship to interests or hobbies that we've had in the past that we had an unhealthy relationship with. So for example, junk food. I know for me, I have a sweet tooth, but I know automatically if something is off balance, which we're seeing in the Gemini, it's all about balancing the spiritual and the materialistic world. I know I over exceed my intake with sugars. So just really understanding during this new moon, you know, how are you balancing your spiritual and your human? What are some spiritual interests you have? So for example, meditation, going to ceremony, healing, and then look at what your human, has your human been able to play? Have you been able to just have a day going out with your friends and not only be meditating every single day and that's it? And I know with the last 2 years, it's been really hard for us to step outside of isolation. And I find Geminis tend to do this. So this new moon's all about how are we isolating our human from experiencing life, and how are we also the duality isolating our spiritual. Is this a time for you to have a new beginning and have a balance with shadow work and healing? Are you celebrating your shadow work, knowing that it is eternal? It's not just that we fix one thing and that's it. Are we working with, healing our trauma from our past, but also celebrating how far we've come? And then with that, are we allowing ourselves to revisit some hobbies that we then did not have a good relationship with? Now, this is also a great time to allow ourselves to receive those parts of ourselves. So a great activity I'm going to actually have you do for this Gemini new moon on May 30th, 2022 is I want you to write a piece of paper. On one side of the piece of paper, you're going to put all the spiritual things you love. So your crystals, charging them up, making moon water, doing meditation, working with a mentor, whatever it is, doing a drumming circle, going to ceremony, all the things that light your soul up. Your inner being, okay? And then I want you on the other piece of the paper to write the love of your human. So what are the love of your human? What do they love? Do they like to go out for dinner? Do they like to, get themselves flowers or go shopping? What are the things that your human loves to do? And I want you to recognize what are the new beginnings you're going to create to balance your human and your soul. Because those two parts of us needs to come out and play sometimes and socialize. You shouldn't have to hide your spiritual being with certain people. And I know for me, this is going to resonate with a lot of people. I know when I first started my spiritual journey, I found it really hard to talk to people about what I do, because I didn't think that everyone was willing to receive that. But that was okay. It didn't mean that I couldn't, have a human experience with a friend. It didn't mean that I had to be spiritual with every friendship. And that was a really hard lesson for me to understand. So really tuning into what is the, unexpected change of perspective that you have with your relationships with this Gemini new moon on May 30th, 2022, and understanding how can I, where do these relationships fit in our life? And maybe you might sit back and say, wait a minute, once I've written those two lists Chica said, I noticed that this relationship doesn't, honor me. And maybe I want to call in some new relationships to, offer me support in my spiritual perspective of myself or my human, or both. Really not being afraid to ask during this, what are the new relationships, the new changes, and the new things we want in our environment to help and really allow us to feel fully comfortable and present in our emotions and who we are. So this is really one of the biggest themes for this Gemini new moon that I really want to share with you guys. I'm going to pull out a card for this one because I'm feeling called to. But I just want you to share down below, have you been struggling being in your spiritual, in your soul, connecting with your soul? Or have you been struggling with your human? What parts of that are coming up for you during this time? And allowing yourselves to really hold space for those parts of us, because we can't be just fully love and light and we definitely can't be just fully, human materialistic. I want to make money. I want to do this, because at the end of the day, our soul has to be happy along with what we're experiencing here. So I think this card is such a beautiful card for us today. We have the Observer, and this one has the Fox, which is so funny because the Fox is a beautiful experience and a beautiful lesson. We also have 4 and 9. So anyone that's seeing 4s or 9s, this number is for you. So the Observer is saying that observe how your spiritual version, your soul, is feeling during this time, your inner being, and observe how your human is feeling. Are you allowing yourself to balance? Now, the beautiful thing about the Fox energy, and what I love about it is we have the moon is not fully new here. It's kind of showing you, as you can see with the crescent and the waning moon kind of representation It's telling us that between the full moon and the new moon, so between now and the full moon, and then again between the full moon and the next new moon, we're going to really see these things take action. So I feel the number 2 coming up with you guys. So it's an awakening of realizing that with the fox, they are in different environments. They are in the cities, but they're also in, rural areas. So understanding how can you adapt with your different versions of yourself as you shift, as you expand your inner soul and your human, and how can you allow people to see that and be more vulnerable with that? So then the right changes in your career, in your relationships, in your relationship with yourself, most importantly, can be fully accepted and received. So I think that's a beautiful card. It's all about observing, and I'm going to go into this a little bit more in the next point. The second thing you need to know about this new moon in Gemini on May 30th, 2022 is that less speaking, more listening. So it's like this card came out for you right when I said that about the observer. So less speaking, more listening, and coming to the words of reflection. So noticing what words are coming up leading up to the new moon 3 days before, the day of, and 3 days after that might be triggering for you to change that inner work or that outer work around you. So here we're really understanding that, Geminis, I love you, but you guys like to talk a lot. And sometimes you use the talking and your social ability, your social gift that you have as a way to also mask what you need to see. So here it's really honoring and saying, when is it a good time during this Gemini new moon for me to observe? Observe what's going on, observe that balance, that duality of my human and my spiritual. And when is a good time to take action on it? So again, this is all about speaking less, but also being okay with understanding. I'm laughing because of the cards that fell out. Understanding what is to be acted on when that time comes. So we have the 4-4, 4-4s. So they're a duality of 2s, but they're also that number 8, infinity. So understanding that our whole body is a thinker. And I think when it comes to Geminis, we spend a lot of time thinking of things, so for all of us, what this Gemini new moon is going to bring is knowing when to think and really take a second to take in what is being triggered, what is coming up, what changes we're about to embark to create a new relationship of our human and our inner soul, and taking that time to really honor that. And I want to read this specific part in this card because it's so beautiful. And what it says is creativity, art, and inspiration, futuration, and manifestation. So we talked about how to write those 2 lists, your spiritual and your human. So for this Gemini new moon on May 30th, 2022, it's understanding once we've seen those lists, we can then take a step into and call onto this new moon energy. What do you want to manifest to allow all parts of you to feel vulnerable and comfortable in your emotions, and also vulnerable and comfortable in the changes that embark of your inner self and outer self? So really listening to that, be creative, allow yourself to embark new hobbies. If you start to notice, wait a minute, I actually don't have a lot of human things. I spend a lot of my time doing spiritual work. That was a wake-up call for me as well. Then how can I bring more happiness, more being, more peace, more joy, which is the highest frequency in our soul being? We have love, joy, peace, and then enlightenment, right? So this is all about understanding how I can bring more joy and happiness and stop thinking so much of what we've lost and more of what we're going to gain. This is something that's coming up from Spirit right now. Another card that we have is the number 3, which is a divine angel number. And we have between worlds. So I think this is just a duality of the shadow, if you guys can see that, and the flamingo, which is our light. So how can we balance those 2 worlds here? So this duality is also calling us to bring in an understanding of what part of our shadow do we need to, change our perspective on, and what part of our light do we need to recognize more in this time. So I really love this, and I think this is really a representation of the Gemini, because Geminis are playful, they hold that energy, and being excited for the change. I think the beautiful thing about the new moons is we get to honor change every single month. And it is normal for us to go into seasons, but here the challenge is how can we honor, the season of observing what is to come. The last one is going the distance. So I love the energy of the cheetah. It's understanding that through these changes, it's going to push you out of your comfort zone during this new moon in Gemini. We're not looking at the destination of where we want ourselves to feel fully. Because remember, even when we get to that destination of what we want to become in our manifestations, our human changes, our soul changes. So those manifestations change. And that's why I talk about, one of the biggest tips I talk about manifestation here is that it's important to have an intention and goal, but also be reminded when we manifest that it is okay to change. It's almost like a compliment that your manifestations change during the time, because your frequency now is going to be different than how it is in the future, and it will be different during this new moon. The next thing you need to know about this Gemini new moon on May 30th, 2022, is that use your words as medicine with your friends and family. So I talked about this a little bit more. The reason why Gemini energy has these two sides is because they feel like they can't bring that world together. And I love this download because I was reminded about this during my Cambo training that I just went through. It was understanding that why do I have to divide myself and section different parts of myself constantly? You can still talk to someone who isn't spiritual and more assisting your human life in a way that you can share this. So for example, I might not be able to talk to someone who will understand a drumming ceremony, but I can say that, how does it make me feel if they're willing to hold that space for me to allow me to be vulnerable? It is a healthy relationship. We're not here to accept and receive every single thing everyone gives us. We're not here to agree with everything that people give us. And I know this might be triggering for some of you, but this Gemini new moon is just to let you know that it is okay to be uncomfortable when we are speaking our truth, when we are allowing our words to be medicine. So just being mindful of what words do you use when you're talking about your shadow? What words do you use when you're talking about your light? What words do you use when you talk about your spiritual experience and your spiritual lifestyle? What words do you use when you're talking about your materialistic and human, right? And asking yourself during this new moon in Gemini, how can I blend those two into one being? Removing the mask and allowing people to see all of you, even when it's uncomfortable, even if they don't agree with who you are and what you can be. And I'm going to pull a card for this because I'm definitely feeling the ancestral energy here of, family members and people that are in our life and how judgmental they can be. And automatically we close our wings. We close our light. We close who we are, We're soaring like an eagle, allowing ourselves to energetically, see the world. And then when we see someone who's going to judge us, we bring our wings back, right? We're hiding a part of ourselves. So this message is for some of you. What part of you are you hiding constantly in front of people that you fear even just thinking about if someone were to know this part of you? And I want you to be called during this new moon. How can I build a new relationship and allow people to see that, but also know that they don't owe me acceptance. I owe myself the acceptance of myself and my being. And when we can shift that perspective, we put so much less pressure on our human, on our soul, and we enter a space of full receiving. So we got two cards. We have stay rooted and grounded. So I love this card. We have the Earth Guardian, which is all about grounding, root chakra. So asking yourself, how can I stay grounded in myself? And we have some green here. So there's a lot of it's funny, it's giving me eagle energy. I don't know if anyone's getting that. Angel, angelic, kind of the archangel energy. So maybe for some of you, this is a great time to call in the archangels to help and support you, because I know a lot of you do connect with my angel number videos. So calling them to help you root you and to ground you, and not to be so fixated on the parts you want to change of yourself, and rather the parts that you want to receive of your being and who you are. Take time to connect deeply with the energy of the earth. so that you can feel supported and make decisions based on strength and integrity. So asking yourself, how can I connect with the earth? Maybe doing your new moon ceremony outside with the grass, doing a meditation in the morning. When I'm going to be posting the meditation for you, you guys can use that if you'd like, or even at night doing, a ceremony outside with the earth energy and grounding and listening to, what spirit animals are around you, what birds are singing to you. Are they sending you frequencies to help you ground yourself, giving gratitude to that? Here, it's really understanding that our earth is our protector, right? And we are protected. So even when we're vulnerable and we feel exposed, we're still being protected as long as we are receiving that protection. So as the world and the earth evolves, so do we. And so does our perspective of our different parts of ourselves. We're not looking at them as fractures. We're looking at them as one puzzle piece, one masterpiece of our soul being and our human and our eternal force. And, the earth card is a card that's beautiful, part angel, part elemental, which is funny because I told you guys about the Gemini New Moon is all about accepting our human, our soul, but also our human, right? So there's that, duality that's in this card that you can see. They're part human, but they're also, a starseed. They're a light being. They're, this energy of essence and, mysticism, which you are. So, this is where, dreams. So a lot of your dream captures dreams of reality. This is when you're tuning into how can I ground myself to step into my fullest potential and truth to manifest my dreams, which we talked about earlier, learning how to observe, how to receive what needs to be changed, to accept our human, to accept our spiritual essence, so we can make those realities happen quicker, so we can manifest quicker, so we can heal quicker, and so we can also heal with the earth quicker. We have the Knight. Be brave, be honest, even when it's uncomfortable. Be brave, be honest. I think this card alone, just saying that, brings a lot of medicine, but I'm going to read it because I know some of you will want to learn more about this card. Do the right thing, even if it isn't easiest option. Stand for what you know to be right and true. So the pattern that I'm seeing here is between those two worlds. During this new moon in Gemini, you're going to be tested a bit to speak your truth, to share your truth. And in speaking your truth, in that duality of the world, you need to have the right perception to observe, to see what part of you needs to blend into the situation to make a decision to change. You can't be on the fence, whether it's career or hobbies or stepping into your truth and being able to be seen more. So be brave in your true authenticity. Be brave in your differences. Be brave in receiving all the ways that you've been bullied, or the ways that you've been judged, or the ways that you feel that people are always constantly critiquing you. And I know this might be triggering. Be brave in that. Allow that to be your gift, not your, weakness. One thing that came up is anxiety. That could be a gift for you if you see it that way. Anxiety can be a gift to allow you to know when you feel aligned and when you don't, when you're in your truth and when you don't, when you're putting a mask on or not. So look at all the things that you see as a struggle and ask yourself, how could that be a gift to help me heal deeper, to help me step into my truth deeper? And this is what this new moon is all about, being brave and being honest. The next thing you need to know about this Gemini new moon on May 30th, 2022 is open your heart more to be vulnerable so you can be seen all parts of you, the two parts of you. I've been saying it over and over again throughout this video, but I'm going to share it again. Allow people to see both parts of you. And this brings me to the next thing you need to know with this Gemini new moon, which is it's okay to be more than one emotion and not categorize them as good or bad. There isn't any good or bad. There's just being, right? You can be angry, and I had this conversation recently that maybe for mothers, if this resonates with you, or for your relationships in an intimate relationship, you feel guilty to be angry. You feel guilty to, at your kids or at your partner or at your friends, creating resentment by holding that anger. So how can we allow ourselves to say, it is okay to say, I am angry right now and I feel unseen. I am angry right now and I feel like I can't express myself safely. So here it's really talking about how can I stop saying this is a good or bad emotion. And I want you to connect with your inner child, because that's coming up for me here. As I said that, the card fell out. This is for your inner child, peace. Okay, this is going to be so deep, but so simple. We have the cosmic egg here. I like to call it the cosmic egg. We have the dove, love. How can we love the parts of our inner child? One of the biggest things I see as a shadow worker, as a healer, a lot of people sharing that I don't like the person I was when I was a child. I don't like connecting with that person. How do you feel that inner child feels? Which is you, right? So here it's understanding, stop categorizing as your trauma and your past as bad or good. Allow it to be what it feels like right now. And if it feels uncomfortable, if it feels angry, if it feels grief, if it feels whatever, allow yourself to give permission to feel it. Because the more you can allow your emotions to not be categorized, the more that you can use your intuition to understand what pressures are you putting yourself to put that mask on so people don't see your weakness, which aren't weaknesses, it is your superpower, to allow yourself to heal and accept that. Once you accept and forgive yourself, then you're able to receive more. Then you're able to receive the duality of your shadow, your inner child, your light, your higher self, all parts of it. We can't just focus on the higher self because we're trying to run away from our inner child, right? We need to allow all of that to be loved. And that's why I said, open your heart. Open your heart to loving parts of you you felt like you couldn't love before, you know? So I really want you to ask yourself, as a shadow work prompt for this Gemini New Moon on May 30th, 2022, what emotions do you categorize as bad or was taught to you as bad? And which ones were good? And ask yourself, do you suppress any of the bad? And do you allow, are all the good actually good? Or is that something that you feel comfortable within your inner self? How can you remove good and bad and just make it as emotions? Emotion means motion of energy. That's what it means. How can I allow the emotion of energy to flow without creating resistance of when and why I should be feeling that way? And this will make us better communicators, which I think for Gemini, that's what it's calling us for this new moon. How can we communicate our emotions? I would highly suggest reading the Nonviolent Communications book. I suggest it with all my clients. It is an amazing book. I do practices and exercises with this very great element. So if you have a hard time talking about your needs with people, boundaries, or allowing safe space for emotions, please get that book. It's an amazing book to get for shadow work. The last thing you need to know about this Gemini New Moon on May 30th, 2022 is this is a time where our Kundalini can be opened, activated. And Kundalini is Shakti energy. It's the energy that we feel in our spine. If you ever notice when you're meditating, there's some energy coming up from your spine or from your sacral, your womb area, coming and activating through the higher chakras. That's your Kundalini. That's that serpent energy. And what's the serpent energy? Shedding. Right? So here this Gemini New Moon is talking about how can we access and activate our Kundalini to shed, but also enter higher frequencies of receiving the duality of our various versions of ourselves and blending these worlds together, knowing that we are this mixed match of emotions and feelings, and that is okay. So Kundalini activation, how can you activate that more? Some great ways of doing that is some hip movements. Some great ways is doing some deep belly breaths, activating and creating suction in the belly. When you inhale, expanding, exhale, bringing it to the rib cage and bringing your hands upwards. I do this exercise in How to Raise Your Vibration video. So this is going to be very, very powerful for you. I feel like there's one card that's here for you lovely souls. So I'm going to pull that and then we're going to do our affirmations video, our affirmations card that we usually do. While I'm here, let me know what's resonating for you. How are you feeling? Again, there's a lot of information here. So if you feel like called to re-watch this, please do. Because I think sometimes depending on how open we are, as I talked about the duality, new things will come up. Serendipity. Okay. Serendipity. Luck. So when I look at this card, we have the 4-leaf clover here. We have this like you rising. So this is definitely giving me the sign of luck. Like, you know, this is allowing you, this is the best change to actually pay forward the luck that's going to come for your manifestations. You know, so you need to see the parts of you that you're not allowing to flow through, the emotions, the part of you that you act like you're not spiritual in front of one group and you act a certain way in another, the part of you that you feel like you can't share certain things with people and why that is. You need to embrace that discomfort to find comfort within. And the serendipity is saying, how can I allow myself to ask myself during this new moon, how is seeing all those different parts of me, my inner child that I don't want to look at, my, past, my higher self, my present self, how is this whole template, this whole map of me and this quantum being and this expansive being going to help me activate manifestations? Because that's what Kundalini can help us. It can help us birth manifestations and bring in this cosmic egg of peace. Why are we seeking for what we're seeking? Because we're really, as humans, we just want to be. We want to feel complete. We want to honor those spaces. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this reading. It was very thorough. There's a lot that I wanted to honor what's coming up for you. Let's finish with an affirmation. And again, if you feel called, I would highly suggest you joining the mystery program. The link will be down below. Once it's announced that day, you will get access to the program and all that information as well. And I would highly suggest it. Just because the price will change once it's announced. And a lot of people say, man, I should have done the mystery program. So I'm like, do it if you feel called to. A lot of the stuff that I shared here, if it resonates, this is going to be very beneficial for you. Humor. I love the funny belly Buddha on this one. I choose to focus on lighter side of life. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. And there's a green heart chakra, right? So remembering one of the themes that's coming up here is that how can I look at the joy? How can I look at all the things that I categorize in my life or I was taught to categorize and bring more happiness, more joy to it? As opposed to seeing it as it can only be a dark time in my life. Maybe looking at that time of your life where it was very challenging and seeing it as, wait, that was supposed to happen. My soul chose that timeline to make me be where I need to go. Sometimes these traumas or these things that happen or these triggers happen to bring us on the right path. It always does. It's not sometimes, it always does. So bring humor. You're funny, spirit. I see you. I'm so fun. My inner child, you were very playful. Let's bring some play here. How can we honor that duality of the world? There's no bad, there's no good, they're just being, okay? So I hope you guys love this video. I hope that this is going to help you for this Gemini New Moon on May 30th, 2022, and what you need to know. Let me know what resonates down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bell so you don't miss a video. I do these videos every single month. The energy updates and weekly videos on new moons, shadow work, manifestations, helping you expand and be a being of full eternal completion of what you want to feel like. And if you feel called to go deeper and you feel like you resonate with my energy, don't forget to apply for my one-on-ones. You can also enroll in my courses down below and my retreats. Love you all so much. Happy Gemini New Moon, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.